Hello, welcome to the second lesson of reflection, but cumulatively as a topic, transformation. This is the 8th lesson, okay? So we want to look at how to find a mirror line of a reflection. In the previous lesson, we were looking at how to find the image. So please write these details here before we go to the example. Copy these notes, pause the video, write everything down, because from time to time I'll be referring to this. What is being explained here is what I'm going to demonstrate. Okay? What is being explained here is what I'll be demonstrating. So I want you to have these notes. All right? The far end here, that's what is there. Okay. So I want you to have these notes before we go to the example. Okay. Let's look at the example now on how to find the mirror line of a reflection. So copy the example here. Copy this example, state the mirror line or equation which reflects, okay, these triangles onto the other, okay. Then also question 2, copy it as it is. So this brings us to the end of reflection, okay. But for transformation as a topic, we still have 2 more transformations to present. Then we're going to look at combined questions, because we want to provide holistic lessons, lessons that are fully packed. All right. So having copied this one, I want you now to draw these diagrams. Okay, all those questions are based on these diagrams here. You need this, you need these ones, you need this diagram. Copy this diagram. Okay, if you have been following, this is the diagram that we used in the previous lesson, so just do another one because the questions are different now. Okay. Okay, so if you have drawn this, then we can start with the first question. Okay, let's look at the first question. So we we have the questions here. State the mirror line or equation which reflects triangle ABC onto. Of course, on the instructions, we were told that we need to drop a what? We need to draw a perpendicular here. Okay, there was that instruction. By drawing the perpendicular bisector of the line joining any one of the points on the object to its image. But then, I think that is applicable to cases like these ones, where you cannot easily tell, okay? Where you cannot easily tell here. But for cases like this one, or these two, or even these ones, or this one, you can easily tell. So you don't need even to draw we were talking about like the line of symmetry, in other words, okay? The line of symmetry, in other words, is what we are talking about. So I don't think that can apply to each and every case. For this one, you can tell that which line here, okay? Which line passes exactly in between this one and this one. That is what we are talking about. Okay? That is what we are talking about. So, what is the mirror line here? You are looking at this. What is the line that will divide these two equal parts? I mean, these two, for instance, from this point up to this one. Which line passes through in between exactly, and it will keep the same distance this side as well as this one. So for this one, it's clearly we can see that it is this line here. It is this line here. So what is this same line? I think that is what we are. So to follow this line, we go with it up to this point. So it's negative what? X. I mean, it's negative 4. On which axis? It's negative 4. On which axis? On the x-axis. This is the x-axis. So meaning the mirror line here is, x is equals to negative 4. It's as simple as that. Okay? Then any onto any prime. Any onto any prime. Okay? Again, it is very clear here that we can see. It is very clear here that we can see that the line, we want like the line of symmetry, okay? Such that when we fold this thing, it's going to overlap onto the other. Okay, so even on this point, you can see that this middle line here gives us the mirror line, which is the line of symmetry, in other words. So what is it? You follow it, you go with it up here, okay? Where is it coming from? It's coming from the x-axis. What is the coordinate? 6. So the answer here is x is equals to positive 6. That is the mirror line. Then P onto, which is this one here, okay? Now, even in this case, you don't have to suffer. We have special equations. Equations like this one. Y is equals to x and y is equals to negative x. These equations, we don't need to draw them. Okay, we can tell when you just look at the positions of the object and the image. So in this case, I must explain to you that when we have, for instance, let me give you something. So we were talking about these two equations. Okay, we were talking about these two equations. The first one here, what does this mean? This means that if the y coordinate is 10, even the x coordinate is what? 10. Okay? I did explain these things, these equations in the previous year. So, in other words, it has the same. If this is negative, even this one is negative. So, what is this equation? It is this equation that passes through these points here. For instance, negative 10 is equal to negative 10. 10 here is again equal to 10. Okay? So what are we saying? This equation here, okay? This equation here, this line here, we don't, in most cases, need to draw it. We can easily tell that, okay, we should know that this line is called x is equals to y. Okay? So in an event where you have, for instance, you've got this, okay, let me just try to demonstrate, okay? Have something like this one, then also the other side here, okay? Also the other side here, what do you have? You have this point, isn't it? You have this point and this one, and these two join like this. Okay, so suppose you just have this one and this one, then this line is not there. Sometimes even without drawing, okay, the bisector, we can easily tell, like I said, we are used to this equation. It is the same thing as the second one, which is which one? This, okay? It is the same thing as this one. What does this mean? I explained this equation in the previous lesson, where we said if y is equals to 10, then this is negative 10. If this is negative 7, then this one here will be positive 7. They have different signs. So where do we have that case? For instance, if we are on 6 here, y is 6. Then we are saying x must be positive. So it will be this point here. Then when we come to this one, when x is a negative, then we are saying y must be positive. So it will be this point. So again, where is this equation? It is this equation here. So what is this equation? This equation also, we are familiar with it. It's this one. So sometimes, like I'm saying, we don't need even to draw the bisector for these ones. We should be familiar with these equations. They are like standard equations. Okay? They are the same as an equation that passes through this point. We just know that this is y is equals to 10. We don't have to construct a perpendicular bisector unless in this case, like this one, it's very difficult here. It's very difficult. So what am I saying? In this case, when you look at this point here, when you look at the position of the object and the image, we can conclude here that the mirror line, it is what? Y is equals to negative x. We can conclude that y is equals to negative x. Then this last one now, that is where we need, please follow me, that is where now we need to join, okay? You join one point here, you join the one point of, for instance, you get one point on the object and the corresponding point on the image, if it is this one. We are going to join these 2 points here. Then after we have joined these 2 points, we are going to construct a perpendicular bisector. We are going to draw this. So we have this line here. Then we are going to construct a perpendicular bisector to this. We're going to construct a perpendicular bisector to this line. Okay? We are going to bisect this line. And how do we bisect? That is what we want to demonstrate. So we use a compass, and we are saying we go more than half. We measure more than half of this line. More than half. So we do an arc this side. I hope you are able to see. Okay. So how to bisect? We said we do more than half of this line. So we draw an arc here. Okay. Then we also draw another one down here. Then we change, we bring it here, draw an arc here, and another one down here. Okay. So I hope you have seen where these arcs are meeting. One point is here, they're meeting here, and the other point is here. So we can join these points now. Okay, this is why we're saying we can now join these points. Okay, so we have this point and this one, so we can join them. Okay, so when you join them, remember this line, we were just using it to bisect. We don't need this line. Okay, we don't need this line. Then we know that this is the mirror line, this line that we have drawn. So we need to find the equation of this line. We need to find the equation of this line. So how do we find the equation of this line? We can pick any two coordinates that are falling on this same line. Okay? We can pick any two coordinates that are falling on this same line. So for instance, like I said, any. So we can, if you want, we can get this one here, this point here, which is 0, 10. Then the second one that we can pick, if you want, we can also pick the last one here, which is 10, 0. But I said any two. Then now we can write the equation using this. You know that this is our x1, this is our y1, this is our x2, this is our y2. So to write the equation, you know that we need the gradient. So first let's find the gradient, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So our y2 here is 0 minus our y1, which is 10. Then we have 10 minus 0. So this is going to give us minus 10 over 10. So our gradient is equals to -1. Then now we write the equation. How do we write the equation? We use this formula. Okay, gradient here. So we are going to replace this part as well as this one. Where are we going to get these coordinates? We can get either these ones here. If we get these ones, this will be our x1, this will be our y1. If we get these ones, this will be our x1, and this will be our, when it comes to the equation. Okay? So we can use these same ones that we started with here, where we have 0, 10. Our x1, our y1. So we have our y1 is 10 is equals to, what is our m? Our m, which is gradient, is -1. X minus x is equals to, x1 is 0. So this is equals to, yes, that's what we're going to get here. Minus 0, it will be minus 0. So y is equals to, just at this point, this one can come the other side, okay? This one can come the other side. So here we can have y minus 10 is equals to -x. Then this one will come the other side. So the mirror line is equals to -x plus 10. That's what you're supposed to do. So for this one, that is the mirror line -x plus 10. Okay? That's what you're supposed to do there. So the same process, we can use it on this one. It will be the same. We can use it on all these. It will be the same. Okay? So let's proceed and go to the next one. Triangle ABC is mapped onto triangle A2, B2, C2 by a single matrix. Describe fully, okay? Describe fully the single matrix which maps ABC onto A2, B2, and C2. Okay, so how do we describe reflection? How do we describe reflection? Okay, how do we describe reflection? Here is the definition of the description. A reflection is described fully by stating the equation of the line of reflection, which is the mirror line. Take note of that. So, in this case, how do we describe this one? From this point to this one. When you look at the transformation in the final exam, for instance, it won't be specified that this is the reflection. You need to know and examine all the 6 transformations and see which one could this one be. So in this case, since we are looking at the reflection, we know that this is the reflection. So the first point that we are going to state here is this transformation. What is it? It's reflection. You need to write it because they have just said describe the full the single matrix. The single transformation. So we need to write that it is what? Reflection. The word reflection should be there because they have not told us that it's reflection. So you start with reflection. Then the second one is going to be the mirror line. Now, at this point, when you look at these two, the middle line here, the line that is the middle line here, okay? The middle line here, it's what? It's y is equals to 7. So that is the mirror line. Then you can write the mirror line. The mirror line is what? Y is equals to 7. So you need to state these 2 points. It's reflection and then the mirror line. Okay? The reflection under the mirror line, y is equals to 7. All right? So that is that. So let's look at the last one. We want to find the matrix which maps this one onto this one. I mean, the matrix that represents this. What are they? So this is what we are supposed to do. All right? This is what we are supposed to do. So we have the matrix that we are looking for here. And the matrix is going to be represented by these letters, A, B, C, D. Then we come up with the matrix, the coordinates of the image here. We come up with the coordinates of the image. So for the image, we have I'm talking about the image of the object. Then the image or the coordinates of the image will be at the end. That will be the product. Sorry about that. So this is the matrix that we are looking for. Then here we are going to put the coordinates of the object. Then here we already have the coordinates of so then we are going to find that. So let's get the coordinates of the image. For A it is what? For A it is negative 8, 8. Those are the coordinates of A. For B, it is negative C, 8. Then for C, it is negative 6 and 12. This one. You start with the X coordinate, then the Y coordinate. Okay? Then we come to the image. The image. What are the coordinates? You have got negative. You have negative 8, 6. Okay? Then for B, you have negative 6, 6. Negative 6, 6. Then in C, you have negative C, 12. Okay? Then we multiply now. We need to multiply. Okay? We need to multiply. So how do we multiply matrices? Row by column. A multiplied by 8, negative 8. A multiplied by negative 8 here, what are we going to get? Okay? A multiplied by negative 8. A multiplied by negative 8, what are we going to get here? So A multiplied by negative 8, we are going to get negative 8A plus B multiplied by 8, we are going to get 8B. Then we do the same thing on this one. A multiplied by 6. A multiplied by negative 6 is going to be negative 6A plus B multiplied by 8 is going to be 8B. Then the last one, A multiplied by negative 6 is going to be negative 6A plus 12B. Then we come to the second one by each. This is a row by each column again. So C is going to be negative 8C plus 8D. They come to the second one, C multiplied by negative 6 is negative 6C plus D multiplied by this 8D. Then C multiplied by negative 6 is going to be negative 6C plus 12B. 12D. So this is supposed to give us what? Negative 8, then negative 6, negative 6, 6, 6, 2. Okay, so we know that the first one, this one, the first one is giving us 8. Okay? So we can say negative 8A plus 8B is equals to negative 8. Then the second one here, this one, it's giving us negative 6. So we can say negative 6A plus 8B is equals to negative 6. Then when we come to C, you can even get this one and this one, it will be the same thing. Also, C and D, we need to form simultaneous equations. So it will be, we can say negative 8C plus D plus 8D. This is equals to 6, this 6. Then you'll get this one. Negative 6C plus 8D is equals to, sorry, this is 6 and also this is 6. So we solve these two simultaneously. So you need to know how to solve simultaneous equation. That is now another method. So in this case, B already has the same coefficient, so we can eliminate B. Okay, we can eliminate B. When we eliminate B, this here is going to be negative 8A minus this one. Minus what? Minus negative 6A. This is equals to 8B minus 8B, it gives us 0. That's why it's not going to be there. Then equals negative 8 minus, which is this minus? Minus 6. So this is going to give us negative 8 plus 6. Also here we're going to have negative 8 plus 6. So this gives us what here? Negative 2A is equals to negative 2. So our A, we divide by negative 2, so A is equals to 1. This is our A. So to find our B, where we have A, you get one of these equations. We can get even this one. We have negative 8A plus 8B is equals to negative 8. So where we have A now, we put 1. So negative 8, 1 plus 8B is equals to negative 8. So this is going to be negative 8 here plus 8B is equals to negative 8. So 8B is equals to negative 8. When this one comes the other side, it would be plus 8. So 8B is equals to 0. And the B will be equals to 0. So B here is equals to 0. Okay? Then we continue, we go to this one. Already also here, you'll notice that D has the same coefficient. So I'm sure you understand now what we have done here. So here I'll just say minus. So when we do this negative 8C minus, this is going to give us what? This is going to give us negative 2C here. The same process here. This one will give us a 0. Then 6 minus 6, it will give us a 0. So C is equals to 0 divided by negative 2. So C is equals to 0. So to find the other one, this is what we can do. Since C is equals to 0, so this is C here. C is equals to 0. Then to find D, we need to get one of those equations. For instance, we can get the first one. This is our 6. So where we have C here, we put 0. So if we put 0 here, you know that definitely this whole part is going to be 0. Plus 8D is equals to 6. Okay? So now, what we are going to do is 8D is equals to 6. It means D is equals to 6 over 8, which is the same as 2 here, 3. 2 into 8 is 4. So we have A, B, C, D. So what is our A? Our A is 1. What is our B? Our B is 0. What is our C? Our C is 0. What is our D? Our D is 3 over 4. So this is the matrix. Okay? This is the matrix. I've done my part. What has remained is yours. Okay, we are trying to cover as many concepts as possible, but transformation is actually one of the simplest topics Okay, that you can answer. So let me give you the exercise. Exercise is here. Copy this question. Copy this question. Copy this question. Copy this question. That's the exercise. So the diagram now for this is this one. So you need to copy this one also. This is the one that you are going to use to answer your exercise. This is the one that you are going to use to answer your exercise. This is what you are going to use to answer your exercise. This is the 8 here. If you want, you can put the 1, 3, all those that are missing. You can put them, there's no problem. Okay? So this is what you are going to use to answer your exercise. All right? This is what you can use to answer your exercise. Okay? So please, just in case you need us to clarify something, this is my number. Okay? This is my number. And my friend, Mr. Piri, you can also reach him on this number. Okay? This is 58 here, 76. Okay? That is the +26 Zambian code. Okay, +26. All right? Otherwise, thank you so much for watching.